Betta fish. Basically, everyone has had one of these at least once in their life. They often get labelled as aggressive, which isn't wrong. It's literally in the name Siamese fighting fish. But, due to this reputation, it is just assumed that they can't live with anything else. However, it's mostly males who are aggressive and females are a little more peaceful due to being females. So, today I'm going to be showcasing my favourite betta fish tank mates. Number 1 is angelfish. Some people may have a problem with this. However, it depends upon your betta's temperament. That means how aggressive they are. I wouldn't recommend putting these guys with a betta if it's a male, and I would always ensure that that betta is peaceful. The one thing I would also say is that angels don't stay small and need a big tank, a lot bigger than what you're probably keeping a betta in. For reference, that's at least 20 litres or 5 gallons. Angels need at least 120 litres or 32 gallons, and that's only for mostly 2 of them. They can be kept in pairs but are a bit happy in groups of 4 or more. So for that, I would recommend anything bigger than a 4 foot. So these guys prefer longer tanks opposed to high ones. Same thing goes for bettas, as these guys are labyrinth fish, meaning they have a labyrinth organ. That means they can breathe oxygen and come up to the surface for a gulp of air. And in higher tanks, these guys find it harder to surface and get the air they need. Angels prefer a pH of 6.8 to 7.8. This is pretty close to bettas, bettas needing anything of 6.5 to 8. And both are hardy, therefore making great peaceful tank mates. The only thing that is, bettas and females included love to nip at anything that's long or vibrant colour. Often a main contender for that is angel. Next amazing betta tank mate is shrimp. They are hardy and they are small, and they even clean your tank. Shrimp eat algae and any food left to rot on the bottom of the tank, which could potentially turn to ammonia and harm your fish. All shrimp do this. However, I have only had experience with Neocaridina kinds of shrimp, better known as cherries. These guys are more solid in their coloration, as opposed to other species. You wouldn't typically find a Neocaridina shrimp with stripes and dots. Cherry shrimp come in every colour you can think of, from red to blue to yellow to even orange, green and pink. These guys are the whole package. Cherry shrimp are quite social creatures and can live in groups as small as 6. However, due to their size and cost, you'd be better off keeping 12 plus or even 25 plus. Cherry shrimp here in Australia typically only cost about $3 to $5. However, if you're looking for more expensive ones like blue, orange and green, they will cost you up to $6 to $15. Although they are colourful, your betta usually will never notice them, as they stay small and only stay on the bottom of the tank, only either when they're not mounted on the side of the glass and plants. Cherry shrimp are quite tolerable with temperature. They can go as low as 24 degrees Celsius and as high as 29, and they can tolerate a pH of 6.5 to 8. These guys are the perfect choice. You could get some already cheap and excellent quality shrimp for even cheaper. Just use the link in the card above or link in the pinned comment below, or even just use the coupon code NEDSFishTips at checkout for Sydney Aquascapes and Micro Aquatic Shop for up to 20% off. Not only shrimp, but for everything store-wide. So check it out. I can guarantee you it is worth it. Just treat yourself and buy something. You will not regret. My third top pick is snails. Snails are great tank mates. Plus, just like shrimp, they clean your tank by eating algae. I've only ever had experience keeping mystery snails. I never keep more than one snail, however, as I never want to get my tank overrun. Snails breed like rabbits, so it's important that you either have one snail or snails of the same gender. I wouldn't recommend bladder snails or ramshorns, as they breed so fast. Within a month, you cannot stop them. The only restriction I would say is that I never use aquarium salt with my snails. Obviously, salt isn't great for snails. Mystery snails are big and can cover more ground. They come in yellow and blue colours and don't really care how much space they have. Just so much as there's enough room and food, these guys are great. Mystery snails will eat algae, so you can feed them algae wafers too. Don't just leave them to fend for themselves, often algae on the glass isn't enough. These guys can tolerate a temperature of 34 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius. And mystery snails prefer a pH of 6.5 and 7.5. A great defining feature about aquarium snails is that they don't eat live plants, only decomposing and rotting leaves. This is something that not many other aquarium snails do. However, a negative about mystery snails is that at least in Australia they aren't that common in pet shops. Only really hobby shops online. In my experience, they cost around $10 to $20. Much like basically all of the fish on this list, these guys are quite placid and not aggressive at all. And much like shrimp, these cute little guys clean your substrate for you. That is not to mention you still have to clean the tank. A fish can only do so much. They prefer to live in groups. I would recommend nothing less than 5 of them. And the benefit of having these guys is that they can also be in a smaller variety. Not to say regular cories are big, it depends upon the species, but I would say about 2 to 3 inches in length is accurate. There are also pygmy cories in there. They're smaller and can live in those 5-gallon aquariums. Mostly that's the size aquariums people keep bedders in. Regular cories like longer tanks and a minimum of 75 litres or 20 gallons. They love a pH range of 7 and 8 ppm. Beware, when in scaped aquariums, these guys can just be little asses. Say you wanted to escape from a lower region and a higher region. Well, that will work at first, but cories don't really care what you want, so they push the substrate around and just ruin the whole scape. And not to mention, all your plants just end up floating when you wake up. These guys just dig them up, even if they have the slightest weakened root system. Overall, they can be great tank mates, and I would recommend these as my top 3 picks, but just beware of what I said. Chili rasboras are also one of the different options I would say are specifically for female betas, all very placid betas. These guys are very peaceful, and you would be lucky to have them grow more than about an inch. This makes them great for small betta aquariums. However, when I say smaller, by that I mean a minimum of 7 gallons in a planted tank. Chili rasboras can live in a 7-gallon, but I would recommend a 10-gallon. But a 10-gallon is equal to about 40 litres. Ensure it's planted, as these guys are a bit timid, so they need some hiding places. Plus, plants just liven up the tank and help clean the water. These guys prefer longer tanks over taller, so keep in mind when selecting tank mates and more tanks. These guys are suited to your needs. These guys like a temperature of around 26 to 29 degrees Celsius, and a pH of 6.2 and 7.2 ppm. These guys, I haven't really had as much experience keeping them. My knowledge is more so on basic research. Everything I know about them is research and family keeping them. Neon tetras aren't my top pick, despite what many people say. These guys are in a similar length to chilies and prefer longer tanks over taller. Just like chili rasboras, these guys need a temperature of 24 to 29 degrees Celsius, and both love a pH of 6.2 and 7.2. These guys are quite flashy and neon blue and red, and are quite commonly sought after and are bred virtually everywhere. This isn't necessarily a good thing. These guys are often the result of inbreeding, as they are constantly bred for their excessive neon coloration. This causes many different genetic mutations and has even harbored its own neon tetra exclusive disease, known as neon tetra disease. The result of this is the inevitable death of the fish. Most of these tetras have been born with it, and it looks like fin rot combined with scoliosis and big lumps all over the body. The final tank mate is plants. These can go with any fish and can live anywhere. They come in all different shapes and sizes and can tolerate all water parameters. Tropical plants can live in the same temperature as your bettas do. Not only do they look great, they also help clean the water, making them the best tank mates universally ever. And if you want an already cheap and quality aquatic tropical plants for a discounted price, use the card above and go to Sydney Aquascapes to get 20% off on all your aquatic needs. Or alternatively, use the Ned's Fish Tips code at checkout. So just click the link below and treat yourself. You will not regret it. I just wanted to thank you all so much for watching this week's video to the end. I really appreciate it. The comment of the day goes out to Indorm Tank. So check him out with the link in the description. I would love it if you could use my affiliate links and help support the channel. All the money and proceedings from that go straight back into the channel and getting new tanks and creating some content for you guys. So if you wanted to check that out, that'd be great. Thank you guys. Stay safe. Bye.